Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Destroyer Ninja here with a guide on getting rich on Skull and Bones. So what pirate doesn't want to be rich? Not many, because the richer pirates get access to all the latest upgrades, latest guns, cannons, ships and everything. So in an effort to help the community, I've put together a comprehensive guide on how to completely maximize your gold and silver runs. So starting off with gold, I've decided that as a number 2, and I've got 3 equal number 2s, is Red Isle Connection. Okay, it gets increased base profits on manufactories. Sea people also get that. There's a Campania one in there in coast of Africa, as well as the Anguana 20% increases. You get your DMC as well as your what's it called, Dominion of Rempar efficiency from the East Indies book, and number 1 book, Empire Management. 100% everything in that book is good. So I get that book first, then begin working on the other ones. So depending on what area you're in, which is why I gave them all an equal 2. So each book represents an area out of the number 2s. Okay, so collecting your gold's that easy. You just go around in your ship and collect them. My number 1 profiter is Harufur over here on the east coast. On the east coast of Africa over there. So it's a pretty big area. That's my number 1 producer there, St. Amalie of Red Isles. Over here in the East Indies, a little bit further, you'll notice up top right here, where I'm headed above Sanghal, is a place called Sunny Capital. That is the number 1 producer of the East Indies I've found. It's funded for a day. The problem with these things is you need a lot of silver to actually click on them and fund them. So you can upgrade them with Square, click X on them and produce. So they need to run out before you can click X on them, and then they'll be empty. Then you can fill them up, and they usually last 2 days, to be honest, a little bit over 2 days. They cost me 35,000 silver each to do at level 10, which is the average, and it's insane because I have 26 level 10s, as you see here. This is actually the typical supply route that I'd take, is something along those lines, ending at St. Emily, then back to the main town of St. Anne down there in Red Isle, and up here in the East Indies I'd be starting at my main Sunny Capital and running straight down through these other 3 to get that back, because that's the main producer in that area. They have more trade routes, which allows them to be better producers, as well as that, coupled with all of those effects from the book that I just showed you. Under the upgrades tab in the helm, you'll find that increases how quickly they fill up dramatically, which is why you can upgrade them here and make them like from level 7 to 10 or whatever. They slightly increase their production, but not even close to as much as doing the book. So that's the same thing with your silver. So you're obviously going to need a lot of silver to supply them. So my number 1 tip is to go over here to the actual Smuggler Operations book and begin on that. So everything in that book is pretty good for silver as far as I can see. It has not only Master Distillers, but it's the one that actually allows you to produce Gold Skull Gin from things like juniper berries, which you can farm from the world, which I'll show you how to do. So you want to maximize the Smuggler Operations book as a first priority for your silver. Okay, so I'm calling the silver and gold books a little bit different. This is the second silver book. This one primarily gives you more for hitting forts. You can actually hit better helm targets under Helm Contract 3, which is the only reason I'd bother speccing into it under the silver there. Okay, you can get a lot of silver from helm raw materials from going to things like smugglers on islands and that sort of thing, buying them cheap and then selling them. They come through as like and then you can actually produce out of those as well, depending on if they're a commodity that you've bought for cheap or whether they're an actual helm supply. Okay, over there you just sell your commodities to the hawkers in either St. Anne or wherever you find them in Telek Banjara, and then you go over here to your actual attacks board and fill up your fort plunders with as many jobs for the same base as you can, preferably, but if not, you might have to hit different ones. It's all random what you get. I got pretty good run this time. I've got 5 at the same fort, so I'm pulling out my actual Barkey ship, which is my repair ship. I've got it in another video. If you'd like to go over there and subscribe and check them out, go for it. Okay, make sure you give us a big thumbs up on it. I'll give you a complete guide on how to get that repair thumping on it to go with the Ouroboros armor as well and that sort of thing. So I personally love the whole effect of the ships and that sort of thing, and huge fan of what they've done with them, so you're welcome to check out any of those other videos. So here I am engaging a fort plunder to get supplies. As I showed you, You actually get about 410 fort supplies once your book's upgraded, so that allows you to actually come over here and hit these areas for things like tobacco leaves, juniper berries, things to make gold skull rum, and things to make different things that people buy top dollar for at the town. So I'll show you that in a second. So basically you want to get these done so you actually get, as you see here, 410 tobacco. Okay, so you get that for completing a floor plunder. As I said, I had 5, so I actually ticked off 5 different materials here. So basically the other ones that I'm going to get here are things like more tobacco, so that'll actually allow me to craft into the best black snuff powder later, which is actually sold to the lady at Telik Penjara for 250 gold once you run it through the helm and distill it and then sell it to her. So basically all of that goes towards silver, so she'll pay top dollar, so she'll give you like 120,000 silver or something for like 500 of the upgraded versions of these. So you've just basically got to run them through the distillery and over here at the helm. So there's a laboratory there, that is the distillery, I'm calling it down there. Basically I've had them already run through a batch of Blue Lotus opium. As you see, they've got 2 left there, 1 left, and it just basically finishes up on the bar, then goes down there to the finished product. You click on the finished product, it goes into your inventory on your cargo in your ship. Okay, so to actually make Black Lotus opium, I'd click on that one. To make black snuff, I'd click on that one. So that's where I actually take the tobacco and put it in, make black snuff. Okay, I've already made this before, as you said, I just collected it, so I'm able to make the best Black Lotus opium here. This stuff's worth 250 gold instead of 100 silver. I mean 250 silver instead of 100 silver like the other stuff. So that's fantastic value. So it actually, you have to use 2 to make 1, but you get 2.5 profit, so it's pretty good. It ups the value of it. It's well worth it. So I basically go over here to my ship, manage cargo, and find what I've made. It's always the gold Black Lotus opium because I've upgraded the book to max and that sort of thing. I wouldn't really take anything less like a purple one and sell it. It's just going to be less value. So going into Rama's residence here, I couldn't visit her for a little while. I built up this huge stockpile and was able to maximize my silver and get to 999,000 silver and all this, because you need to keep open a quest when you visit her, so you can get through it and become kingpin, do all the quests, but keep one open is my suggestion after you do it, because when you sell it you make 127,000 silver from doing what I just showed you, from the fort attacks and plundering them and that sort of thing. Until next time guys, I hope you enjoyed the Get Rich Guide.